All right, welcome to Pacers Podcast 3, and this theme is the GOAT, Lance Stephenson.
This is a Lance Stephenson podcast today.
Because yesterday was a year anniversary of him setting the NBA record for most points off the bench, 20 no-miss shots, and we were both there.
In a quarter or in a quarter?
In any quarter off the bench.
Is that still unbeaten? Unbroken?
Still unbeaten.
Even our boy Benedict hasn't done that?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
Honestly, good.
So that is, Benedict is averaging 17 points off the bench.
It's crazy.
He's actually leading the league in points off the bench.
MVP,
But,
MIP.
Yeah, that's a different discussion.
That's a different discussion. This is a Lance day.
Yeah.
This is a Lance day.
So let's start off. Let's talk about the energy that was at that game.
That game. So it was early January.
Yeah.
Man. Whew. So we each went to the game. We were separate, but we were both there. So we both experienced So what we
From
say
different
is
sides of the court.
from different sides of the court, we got the full 360.
Yeah.
So what his point is, which is good. It's a higher level of energy that I didn't experience at a playoff game, which we've both been to. So.
Now, I was at the playoff games when Pacers, had like Paul George, Danny Granger, Roy Hibbert, West, George Hill. And we were competing against the Heat every year.
Right.
And that energy was surpassed that. And a point he brought up earlier that I forgot about, but as soon as he said it, I remembered, was when Lance just stood up off the bench and was getting ready to check in. Everybody got up.
My man.
Going crazy.
He wasn't
clapping.
even checked in yet.
Yeah.
And I remember just looking around, people were standing up, applauding. Woo! Yes, Lance. Before he even took off his pregame or his workout gear, whatever it was, the energy was crazy. We all wanted Lance because if we remember, he was coming off probably 4 or 5 10-day contracts. Remember that?
Yeah.
So this is his first game signed at home on the team. So we see him on these 10 days. We're all excited. So we all knew this is his welcome home.
And we were playing against, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Harden.
Stars.
And no Pacers fans showed up there because I want to see, everyone was I want to see
Lance.
Over those three,
Yes.
mega stars,
Me and my
we were
buddy-
all there for Lance.
Absolutely. Me and my buddy got there about an hour before the game started. And I remember just kind of walking around getting drinks, talking to the bartenders, talking to his people. The only conversation was Lance Stephenson.
Yeah.
No one gave a fuck about Kyrie, not taking a vaccine or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, normally when I go to Pacers games, if a big shot's made, maybe look over to the person next to you, blah blah blah.
Whoa.
But Lance stands up and everybody's talking bro, Lance is about to come in, and that was just crazy.
Yes.
It felt like a family experience because
Yes.
to me,
Yes.
he is family to the Pacers. There's nobody else I've ever watched for the Pacers that just is
Oh my God.
most true Pacer.
Well, let's go on this before we get to the actual game. So, Lance, as of 2023 now, he's not on the team.
Yeah.
I feel like this is disrespectful because, even if he's not the most efficient or if he's not, however you want to put it, he is the epitome of Indiana and the Pacers. My man willingly lives in Indianapolis. I was born and raised in Indianapolis. I don't live in Indianapolis anymore. I don't want to. No disrespect. But my man, that's where he chooses to be. It's where he wants to be.
Yeah, and that's another
New
reason
there.
why it upsets me that he's not on the team is because most players on the Pacers are there just because Pacers are gonna give them the best bag or he's gonna give them the best minutes or whatever. Lance, I think right now if you gave him choice, you can play for any team off the bench, same minutes, same money. I think he would literally pick Indiana just because that energy and stuff. And someone asked me, yesterday, why didn't he, play so good for the Hornets or any of them? And I was I really think it's just he's one of those players who just feeds off energy. And,
Yes.
we give it to him, and at Charlotte you get Lance Stephenson. All he knows is antics. You know what I'm saying?
The dancing, the
and
guitar.
the whole media kind of hates. Unless you're a Pacers fan, you can't understand the love for Lance Stephenson. So you're not gonna give him that energy, even if he's going off scoring or whatever. You're just not gonna give him the same love. And to him, he is definitely a player that feeds off that.
He feeds off that, and we feed into it, especially in that game. But it's overall, and I'll tell you what, he might even want to play for this team more because we are a better team than last year.
Yeah.
We're a better team than the year before that.
Yeah.
So I feel as if he could play, I forget the guy's name, the guy in the Heat. who's just like, he doesn't really play ever, but he's kind of that OG.
Oh, Haslam?
Haslam.
Yeah.
So he could be that kind of vibe. And I'd still like him to play, I think, get some minutes, but he can be that guy who's there, you know?
Definitely brings some, like, culture of, like...
This is what the fuck we are.
Yeah, like, I love being here, like, you know... Like, when I was, like, in the Marine Corps, a lot of times, like, wasn't the best situation, but, like, the people around it made it, like, a better situation. Yeah. I feel like that's what Lance could, like, bring to, like, our squad. Like,
that veteran attitude. That
veteran like, you're excited to go into work every day type of thing. Because I was, like, watching a JJ Redick podcast, and he was like, some teams I was just, like, very good, but I was just, like, not excited to go to practice except every day. But he was like, other teams, we had great culture, and I was, like, hyped to come in every day.
People said about Philly. You know, Joel Embiid says it about Philadelphia. He's like, if I have a bad game or whatever the case is, I'll hear boos from the stand. Yet he's an all-star. He's like, you know,
MVP candidate.
MVP candidate. Yeah. He talks to stories about not being loved in his own city for whatever the reason is. So no, we have never done Lance like that. We never will. We don't do any of our players like that for real. But
and my favorite moment, it's between one of these two. It's probably my favorite one. When he came in, everybody's like going crazy. Yeah, he immediately hits that three, and he goes right to that signature like three guitar. Like he was saying, that's the best three celebration because like nobody else does.
His guitar, banjo, whatever the fuck it is, his celebration is the most unique, and it's swaggy as hell.
It's like Hendrix, Lance Stephenson.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's how I rate him.
So the game, if you want to get into the game, first quarter. 20 points off the bench. Yeah. Playing against the Nets, the stacked Nets.
And we were just watching the replays. He had, like, KD was guarding him, like, at least 50% of the time. At least. And, God, hands up in your face, had a 7-footer or whatever. Yeah, couldn't stop him.
Couldn't stop him.
He was, like, watching that game, so sincere. Like, I don't think I'm being, like, Pacers goggles at all. I felt like I was watching like a Michael Jordan type of like moment, you know. It
might be a little Pacers guy, but okay. So here's I've even mentioned this to you I think in the past. You know, as Pacers fans, we're Pacers. We don't have a lot of like attention, you know, until this year of our rookie and all that. I feel like that game did not get the love it did on social media. For instance, Sunny's House of Highlights and stuff like that. I didn't see nothing like. We also lost the game, but still,
that's a big factor.
That's a big factor. But you know. We didn't get to shine, you know, I don't even know where I'm going with it, but regardless, you know, he doesn't get the recognition he deserved, especially during that first quarter. But anyway.
I mean, record for most points off the bench with not missing a shot.
First game back.
Like,
first sign game back.
That's like an NBA legacy, like, forever. Like, till someone, like, beats that, like, he holds that record, and, like, to me, that's, like, a huge record. Because you think about, like, great players that, like, came off the bench, like Jamal Crawford and... You know, players like that, and like they never did it.
Yeah.
You know, like
ironically, I think if someone were to break it this season, it'd be Benedict Matthews. I don't think he would. That's a really tough record to beat, but still, you know.
I mean, Halliburton's our starting star, and like most nights he's getting 20 points.
Right.
Like the whole game.
Right.
So like that is just crazy. He ended up getting only 30. I say only, but he got that's off the bench. You know.
Yeah, off the bench. Yeah.
You know, 30 points is like still a lot, and. Every shot he hit that game too had swagger to it.
It had swagger to it, and the thing was, you know, even with all that being said, I didn't have high expectations for him in that quarter in the game. But he just starts banging threes, making these tough layups, and you go after each one. I remember just kind of looking at my buddy going, I just know we're the Pacers. This is going to end at one point. He's going to start bricking. He's going to start something.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I remember in the crowd every time he hit one. We all kind of look around and go, yeah! Like, what? And then, like, it just got multiplied, leading to the buzzer beater. Yeah. 3. Ooh!
Yeah, and I have a YouTube short of that from in the stands that you should watch.
Check it out.
But, yeah, that buzzer beater, I think there was, like, 10 seconds left when he had the ball. And my first thought was, like, they know too well that he's going to take his last shot. So, like, he at least has to, like, pass it off, get it back. And then there's like 5 seconds left, and I was like, oh my God, he is just straight calling this dude. Straight calling it from the corner, boom.
Beautiful. But yeah, the energy. And then throughout the game, he made 2 more points, couple rebounds, couple assists, whatever.
Yeah.
Great. Lance is our guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Lance is our guy.
You'll see, stuff posted like, oh my God, this guy scored 30 points, tonight. Luka Doncic's type of thing, you know what I'm saying? And Lance did that off the bench.
Off the bench.
I don't even know if I know if I've ever seen a bench player get 30 points. I'm sure it's like happened.
I'm sure it's
multiple
happened.
times,
I can't think about it.
It definitely doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, the most time, again, ironically, the most I hear about the best person off the bench in the league right now is Benedict, and that's not Pacer goggles. That's factual. That's why he's got so much attention. You know, he's a big reason why the Pacers are doing so well. Him and Halliburton, etc. But this is about Lance.
So last point that we'll get to. One, this season, do you think he would, if we signed him, do you think he would add or like subtract? Because like my only point that I think he would subtract a little bit is like our whole squad is young, and there's not really like an old vet we could like switch off the bench.
You said it would subtract or add?
Like there's not a veteran off the bench right now we could subtract.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So we'd have to like take like a young player away, but then
Oga, bye.
counter that with like the culture or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about.
I just think that just having at least one, you don't want a bench full of veterans, no. Yeah. You don't want to be the Lakers, but you do want you want that one guy to say, "Hey, I've played for X amount of years. I know this organization. I know this city. I know this team. You know, even we just know the team now, but he is the veteran. He knows what is needed to know.
And he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals against like LeBron teams.
Yeah.
And interesting stat, however, he's the only player to ever hold LeBron under double digits in any playoff series ever, which is probably like the best defensive accomplishment you could straight up have.
That's good, but we also figured out recently that Benedict Mathurin is better than LeBron James. So now it's like whatever, who cares? You know,
that's facts.
That's facts. I think it'd be good. I think he just adds culture. You know, just culture. Just
excitement.
Excitement. Now, what I've noticed on these, especially Instagram posts that the Pacers are posting, is in these videos, and the guys, have this young energy. They have that young energy, and they're very excited just to be playing, and they're all like hyping each other up. It's good. I think it's adding one veteran who is just. We're not adding any veteran. We're adding the veteran.
And he definitely will add more excitement to like younger players and like older players, because all his stuff is like flashy. Like he's either like the GOAT or like the worst player on your team. And we were watching him play earlier where he did like that little pass, and as soon as he was done with the pass, he starts like shimmying and shaking. He just like brings.
But those young guys would love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like vets might be like, come on,
whatever.
Man.
But who cares, man?
But like those young players for sure would love it. So
we didn't discuss this prior, but we're a young podcast. Our first goal, just period, and this is your idea, is our first goal, whether it be in a month, won't be in a month, but whether it be in 6 months, a year, 5 years, we gotta get Lance Stephenson on the podcast.
That's the biggest goal. All right.
I don't know what else we could do after that.
Like and subscribe to help us out. Lance out.